Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 8 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Washington Redskins and the Denver Broncos, a game that will be played out in Denver. Denver coming off of a loss, obviously, to Indianapolis last week, and Washington coming off of their first win of the year at home versus the Bears. And, from Washington's standpoint, they did pull out the win last week, 45-41. I think it was the first vintage RG3 performance that you remember from last year. Almost 300 yards passing, a little over 80 yards rushing, and just, a very good game overall. I mean, the offense puts up 45 points. The offense, I think, I had been saying for weeks, I thought was going to get better. But remember, they still lit up 41 points. I know one of those, the special teams continues to be a problem after Devin Hester returning a kick last week. And also that defense as a whole, just with too many leaks in that defense. I mean, to let up 41 points to a team that didn't have Jay Cutler leaves that game in the second quarter. Josh McCown comes in and has a very good game. I thought puts the team up with 3 minutes to go. I mean, the Bears were up 41-38 in that game. So, give RG3 credit, though. He pulled it out. How is Alfred Morris able to establish himself against this Denver rushing defense? The Denver defense is an anomaly. I mean, they give up, just about only 3 yards a carry from a rush defense standpoint. But they let up 320 yards a game through the air. So two total opposite ends of the spectrum for this Denver defense. So is Washington able to establish the run and hit long plays when the opportunity presents itself? I think that's the remedy to beating Denver at Denver. You can't sit back and hope to keep the ball away from Peyton Manning because I think the Denver rush defense is a little too good for that. I think you have to try to be aggressive, but and at the same time, try to keep the ball away from Manning when you can, if that makes any sense. And from Denver and Washington standpoint, they both protect the passer pretty well. They're both actually in the upper end of the league as far as that goes. I think Washington's allowed only 11 sacks, and Denver, I think, 8. Okay, so I don't look for the pass rushes to be too big of an issue in this game. We'll see if Von Miller can get going, though. He's obviously the X factor. I mean, both these teams are average when it comes to sacking the quarterback, but obviously Von Miller not being there, for the first part of the season played a role in Denver's sack numbers. But I worry about obviously Denver's offense against that Washington defense. I think Washington will be able to move the ball on Denver, but can they move it to the level they're going to need to move it at? Because, Denver had a very rough game in a lot of respects. They're banged up on the offensive line. I don't think this Washington team is a team that can take advantage of that. I think Denver is going to be vulnerable to teams that can rush the quarterback going forward, but I don't look at Washington as posing a significant threat in that area. Remember, you can't, underestimate, the attitude Denver's going to have coming back home here. That's not going to make their secondary better as far as Denver goes. But I think they'll get enough, attitude from this defense, a couple big plays on special teams from the Trindon Holidays of the world, and a prolific game from this offense against a bad Washington defense. And I think Denver gets back on track, minus 13.5 at home against Washington. Guys, let me know what you think of this game. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks again for listening, and have a great night.